An intense feud between Suki and Momma Dee escalated out of control in the most recent episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami, a show known for its fiery drama. The confrontation reached a level that will have fans talking for the rest of the show. It started at an upscale event hosted by one of the cast members, where there was a lot of glitz and glamour and the promise of networking. But underneath the surface, tension was building as Momma Dee, who is no stranger to controversy, held court at her table, dropping subtle jabs and her usual unfiltered remarks. Suki soon found herself in Mama's care. Dee is in the crosshairs. Momma Dee made a remark that was impossible to ignore while sipping her cocktail with a sense of superiority. She said it loudly enough for Suki and the entire room to hear, and although she didn't immediately name names, it was obvious that some women need to understand the difference between selling themselves and being confident. Suki, who is known for her audacious demeanor and swift retorts, gave Momma Dee a warning glance. Never one to back down, Momma Dee grinned and dropped the bombshell perfectly. "If you have anything to say it to my face." Her voice was sharp enough to cut through the music.
I was in an interview and somebody asked me a question about you.
I just happened to see the interview, and I feel like it really hurt my feelings. You bring up the black fat girl, and then it was just like, you talk about good coochie, don't talk about good coochie.
Can I just say this? I can't change you. You are who you are, but
I
I
feel
just
like you have fault. They don't know me.
I did. I said some things I shouldn't have said, but at the end of the day, I thought like, oh, you should know sometimes how that portrayed as a black woman.
Are you serious? Let's talk about your past and the things that you brought about. Miss P-I-N-C. But bitch,
No, I wasn't telling you. I was a kid.
You was, so that was you was telling other girls. But you act like you better than somebody else. Yeah, so don't act like you better than nobody else. I'll call you out. And loose lips take shit.
Yes, they do.
So yours was loose.
No.
Mine ain't loose. That's why we supposed to.
But you're being loose right now. So then let you go.
I don't need it. And you need it. You already used it. And you need to use it. Yeah. Stop touching it.
Two grown ass women can't get it together for one night. Y'all have to have this conversation at a birthday party.
You get what your friend. You're on it. That's fine. You're the old freaky bitch. You need to go check on your son, because Scrappy is toxic because of you, but your old sexy nasty ass bitch, you could never come for me. You sound
Twice on the
Mama, take it to the man. You shouldn't even have me sitting down with the house. She weird. She weird. Yeah, I'm really that girl. And she met her motherfucking ass. And she met her man. She ain't just nothing up in here. I birthed 3 babies. Ain't no all hoping to disrespect me. I ain't continue to party.
We want my old pimp ways to come back out. I've been trying to submerge that dude for a long time. But if she made it come out, she made it come out. You know, Suki, I'm trying to leave my old pimp mentality alone. But see, you make an old pimp like me come out of early retirement. If that troll y'all call Suki calls me old one more time, I'm not going to be accountable for the next thing I say.
When I replied, "I think you're acting like a prostitute," the room became silent. The drinks were put down, and everyone's attention was drawn to Suki, whose face changed from one of incredulity to a raging rage. Her close friends and cast members attempted to comfort her, but it was too late. "You got the wrong one today," Suki said, standing up from her chair and scraping loudly against the floor. She pointed a perfectly manicured finger at Momma Dee, who was obviously enjoying the chaos. Unleashed leaned back in her chair and shrugged, saying, "If the shoe fits, wear it," in a tone that was dripping with condescension. That was the tipping point in a moment that will live on in pop and love forever. When Suki smacked Momma Dee across the face, the room reverberated, and the shock was immediate. Gasps broke out, and then there was anarchy. Momma Dee, who was surprised but refused to back down, yelled, "Did you just put your hands on me?" You'll regret that little girl Suki being escorted away by security. As security and other cast members hurried in to separate the two, Momma Dee lashed back, "I don't regret defending myself, but you ought to have refrained from mentioning me when the cast was left to pick up the pieces." In the meantime, Momma Dee, with her makeup a little smudged but her pride intact, gave her version of events in her confessional, "Suki's young and reckless." She doesn't understand how to respect her elders if she can't handle the truth, and that's on her, not me. Suki retreated to the confessional to share her side of the story, clearly upset but unapologetic. I've been through too much to let someone like Momma Dee try to tear me down. Social media erupted right away with. Fans' responses were mixed, with some praising Suki for standing up for herself and others criticizing her for using violence. The hashtag number memes, arguments, and fan theories regarding the implications of the feud for the show's future swiftly made Suki against Momma Dee popular. The fallout continued. Cast members took sides outside of the event itself, with some supporting Suki and others standing up for Momma Dee. To make things worse, the cast had to be extra cautious around the two fighting women. Friendships were strained and alliances were questioned. Though fans are aware that with personalities as large as theirs, this feud is far from over. Will Suki and Momma Dee ever find common ground? Or is this the start of a full-scale conflict that will split the cast and take over the season? Rumors circulated that producers were considering separate filming schedules for Suki and Momma Dee in order to prevent further incidents. Fans are eager to see what happens next because this episode undoubtedly set a new benchmark for Miami drama with love and hip-hop. Began at an upscale event hosted by one of the cast members. The room was full of glitz, glamour, and the promise of networking, but underneath the surface, tension was brewing. Momma Dee, who is no stranger to controversy, was holding court at her table, dropping her usual unfiltered comments and throwing subtle shade. This confrontation went out of control in a show that is already known for its fiery drama. Suki soon discovered that she was in Momma Dee's crosshairs. It was impossible to ignore Momma Dee's remark while sipping her cocktail with a sense of superiority. Some women need to learn the difference between confidence and selling themselves. She shouted it loudly enough for Suki and the whole room to hear, although she didn't immediately name names. It was obvious that certain women needed to understand the difference between selling themselves and being confident. She shouted this loudly enough for Suki and the entire audience to hear. The room froze, conversations stopped, drinks were put down, and all eyes turned to Suki, whose expression changed from disbelief to fiery anger. Her close friends, including cast members, attempted to calm her down, but it was too late. Suki, known for her bold personality and quick comebacks, gave Momma Dee a warning look. "If you have anything to say it to my face." Her voice was sharp enough to cut through the music, and she never backs down. Momma Dee smirked and delivered the bombshell, saying, "Fine, I think you're acting like a prostitute."